silently now, not through coordinates, but possibility. It wasn't just following dream signals anymore. It was becoming a part of them. Each seed in the memory alcove hummed with soft purpose. Each journey they'd taken had folded inward like chapters, winding tighter towards something that felt like an ending, or perhaps a beginning that looked back. Emery stood before the dream map. It no longer pulsed with points alone. It shimmered with paths, each node now connected, forming a spiral too elegant for logic. The routes formed the shape of a fingerprint. A galaxy, a brain, a story, and, at the center, a single golden spark. No signal, no coordinates, just presence. Nilo stepped beside her. "It's time." Emery nodded. The Finch adjusted course on its own. The final destination was not a place. It was an intersection, a convergence point of all the dream paths they'd touched. Yvain's sanctuary, the musician's silence, the sleeping child, the garden tree, the gray space, the coral harp cradle, and now, Nilo's dream-born thread. There, in the center of unmarked space, they found it. A station, not built, grown, massive, blooming with radiant petals, each etched with symbols that glowed faintly under their approach. It looked alive, pulsing with quiet music and memory. Not a station for bodies, a library of dreaming. The dream archive. They docked without a sound. Inside, a wide hall spiraled like the inside of a seashell. Light floated upward from the floor. Petal-like shelves lined the chamber, and on them, seeds. Thousands. Million. Each one a life. A memory. A once-forgotten dream held gently in waiting. A tall figure approached. Not human. Not animal. Just form. Light clothed in stillness. They didn't speak. They welcomed. Emery and Nilo stepped forward, carrying the Finch's entire memory alcove. 7 dreams in total. They weren't removed. They unfolded, each fragment rising on its own, floating from their arms into the hall. The tall figure bowed, not in thanks but in reverence. These weren't deliveries. They were returns. Emery felt her chest tremble, not with sorrow, but with awe. She understood, then, what Yvain had tried to tell her. Dreams aren't carried. They are kept until they find a place to live again. And this was that place. The Sanctuary of Story. Chapter 32. And then the silence bloomed. The last dream settled into the archives chamber with a hush, like the final note of a lullaby fading into sleep. The air shimmered faintly, and the vast petal chamber began to sing, not with voices, but with remembrance. A melody filled the hall, woven from every fragment Emery and Nilo had carried. The shimmering arc of Yvain's bottled hope, the unplayed piano in the void, the seedling that chose to stay behind, the sorrow folded in silence, the whisper of the unspoken goodbye. Nilo's origin song blooming like a first breath. The music didn't ask to be understood. It understood them. Emery turned slowly, tears warm in her eyes. "This is where they were always meant to go," she whispered. Nilo nodded once, his eyes reflecting the glow of seeds now planted in radiant shelves. The tall figure raised a hand, and the center of the hall opened into a garden, one of light and memory. In its heart stood a single tree, enormous and crystalline, its branches stretching in every direction. New leaves had begun to bloom, 7 of them. Each one glowed with a familiar color. As they watched, another leaf unfurled, then another, and another. Dreams were still arriving, carried not just by the hollow Finch anymore, but by others, voices newly awake, vessels newly open, carriers of forgotten songs. Outside the station, the Finch waited. Content. Its panels hummed not with propulsion, but with peace. Emery stepped into the dome and placed her hand on the pilot's chair one last time. "You ready?" Nilo asked gently. She smiled. Not to leave, to listen. Together, they floated away from the station, not toward another job, but into open sky, finally unburdened. They had returned the dreams they were asked to carry. And now, they could dream, too. Not the kind sealed in orbs or planted in gardens, but the kind you live. The kind made slowly, over tea and soft music, over days spent drifting through starlight with no destination in mind. The kind made by showing up for the forgotten things and letting them shape you. The kind that never needs to be bottled, because it never asks to be carried alone. The hollow finch sailed on, slow and golden in the dawnlight of a distant star. Behind her, the station sang, and ahead, the stars waited, quiet, open, listening.